Hey guys, we're back in the old whacking chair, setting ourselves up for a good deal of air gun fun. I got a surprise package here from Terry Fox Air Power, and we're going to open this beast up, see what we got, and then see what type of fun we can have. As always, I'm trying to teach you something about the air rifles, the operation, and how they work. I am not an accuracy guy, as everybody knows. There's plenty of other guys out there that can shoot an aspirin off the back of a beetle at 100 yards. I'm lucky to hold a 2-inch group at 50. So I leave those type of experienced people doing the experienced target shooting and accuracy videos. I'm the how-to guy. Teach you how to learn your rifle. If you understand how your rifle works, it's much easier to diagnose if you have a problem. So that's why I like being the basic Joe, teaching you everything there is to know about this, especially for you new guys, because there's nothing worse than feeling helpless and not even knowing how to phrase the question on what to ask. So when it comes to feeling totally helpless and having no clue, I'm your guy. I in fact looked that up in the encyclopedia. You'll see a picture of me. Let's get to opening this beast up. Just rip the box. Okay. This is the 357 Challenger Elite. And if you remember from all my Elite videos, they're the ones with the adjustable regulator. So you can tune this rifle to get multiple shots that are almost identical in speed. Okay, so they're more of a mid-range rifle than a high-powered rifle or a low-powered rifle. They're mid-range as in weight and power. I am really excited to run this through its numbers and see how it does. And as always, we'll point out some details here as we go along. Alright, well, we'll go over some of the basic features the air rifle has. It's got an extended Picatinny rail up top, compact bullpup design, side lever, 2 magazines, your screw-in fill probe with extra rubber O-rings. Your gauge here takes care of the PSI in the bar for your plenum or your front chamber area of air. This is what you're using that will be affected, that will tell you when you're tuning it for the weight of the bullet you're playing with. Gauge in here is what tells you your PSI for the front tube. This is your fill gauge. This is your working shooting gauge. That's a better explanation. Of course, this right in the middle is your regulator. Threaded barrel up top. It's got the, oh, I forgot what these are called. Muzzle brake. Got your muzzle brake on the front, which unscrews and you can put a suppressor on. We will be putting a barrel band on here from David at Black Arts Design. 4,500 PSI fill. Again, what your working pressure is, that's what we're going to play with and find out. Beautiful setup. Also comes, Terry includes a quality custom-made dog tag that's got Fox Air on the front and Elite on the back. It uses a chain around your neck, or it's got the gadget here, I guess, for a keychain. You want to keep it that way. These aren't cheap, by the way. I know, you look into advertising products, these things are not cheap. So that's some real quality. So let's put this thing on. We'll get a scope on it. We'll get it filled up, and we'll get going from there. Don't go away, guys. We're having some wonderful fun. All right, guys. So this is the Black Arts Design Elite for the Elite Rifles barrel band setup. Okay, it's a little different than the standard barrel band. Okay, so I've got this zoomed in. We'll see how this works. Okay. Now, it does not come with this. I threw that in so I wouldn't forget it. Now, on all of the barrel bands from Black Arts Design, there is inside, I'm trying to see this at the same time, guys, there's a pointed arrow, silver arrows with a Sharpie marker, okay? That is pointed towards the direction that the bullet travels, the muzzle of the gun, okay? So just remember that. The arrow is the same direction as the bullet travels. It's the best way I can say it. Now this barrel band has two rings inside here, okay, to help lock the barrel down. One is gold, one is silver. And always remember that silver faces towards the muzzle, okay? We've got three Allen screws here that hold us together. So we're gonna take this apart. Okay, this top one is slightly longer than the other two. All right, let's back this up a little bit. It's I need to be able to work my hands around like that, but I can't. I guess this is where one of those Ignat, what do you call it, with the fish eyes, GoPros would come in handy. So all I'm doing is taking these three off at the moment. Okay. Because you can see there's a little slot here where there's a nut pushed in. Slot there where a nut pushed in. So as the screw or the Allen goes through, that's where it connects. And the same up here. There's where it goes. Okay. So let's shake this. Alright, so that's loose enough. I don't have to take it out. There we go. As you can see, that the top one is slightly longer than the two bottoms. Okay, so the barrel band facing, that's the direction it's going to go. Alright, I've taken it off. Now you're not going to see this right away, but these are your rings, and they have a slant going in that direction. That means that's going towards the rear of the rifle. The flat is the front. And this is the rear band. You can see it's got gold on it, or copper. It's the one that goes in the back. There's the one that's got the silver. That's the one that goes in the front. And these will slip, they're soft. They'll slip over the barrel like that. Okay. Once you get the two bands in, and I'll show you in the videos we install it. Come here, you rascal. Okay, it's going to be like that on the barrel. Then this bugger is going to go like this. Bugger number 2 is going to go like that. And then you start to bugger it back together. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Okay? But that's the colors. And like I said, the standard barrel band, you don't have to deal with this. But for the Elite, David's gone up and beyond to make sure this baby grips together. Alright, so that's your close-up of the barrel band. Okay guys, now we're putting on the old barrel band. So if you pay attention, what I showed you before, there's the gold, goes in the back, and the gold is facing the exit. There's the silver. Silver's after the gold, or the brass, or bronze, whatever color you want to call it. Again, facing this way. Now we're going to take our two pieces, and if you look at the arrows, they're facing this way. So let's slide these kind of over here to the edge. Arrows, everybody's facing the same direction, which is this way. Alrighty. Perfect. Okay, so you get that top screw started. You got to get the top one started first, otherwise it's real aggravating. So pinch it, squeeze it, make sure it's where you want it. Give it a good pinch and a squeeze, and you get those threads started. You're good to go. Okay. You don't, you'll be sitting there and twirling this forever, trying to figure out what's going on. You know, first I thought the nut wasn't in there, but it was. Just realized that it's just tight. All right, so that one's snugged up. This is the next one. I believe this is the right one. Okay, yeah, it's snugged up. Now, I'm tightening these. I'm not cranking the hell out of them, though. You go back and forth, you know, they tighten a little bit. And, of course, just like rings on a scope. So that's snug, buddy. That is snug like a bug in a rug. So that is how you get your barrel band on there. And again, I didn't twist or torque the barrel at all. It's, you know, as natural as it comes out. So let's get to slapping a scope on this baby. Okay, so now I've got a scope on here. We got to get it lined up. Now this is, I don't know, some scope somebody gave me in trade for something. Center point something or other. Haven't had a whole lot of success with it, but you know, I'm willing to give anything a shot. This is that $36 adjustable base I got off of Amazon, which I get such a kick out of. So you've got a high-end scope, right? And you've run out of elevation, you know, so you're aiming here and your bullet's hitting here, but you can't move your crosshairs any lower, right? Watch this. See that? I mean, that little bit of movement down range is like 12 inches. So you could just lift this up. It lowers the crosshairs. You remember, you want the crosshairs going to the bullet hole. You can't move the barrel. You got to move the scope. So, and this has got 3 big set screws that you tighten it down. So you can move your crosshairs back up to the center. So, you know, everything's not being weakened by being in the wrong spot. And then tilt it. Take a shot. If it needs to go more, you tilt it a little more and then tighten it down. Then you can fine tune it with your things. I mean, it's 35 bucks beats 450 or 500 from a cold shot. So I'm not taking away from cold shot. Those are excellent devices, but you know, this is pretty good for most 150-yard goofing around. But that's how I was able to use my Swarovski and my Zeiss, which ran out of adjustment after about 3 inches. So the other thing too, what I like about this, if you know, air guns, you got weird shoulder placements on how to get your eye relief. But check this out. You can lift it up and keep going back. It's got like 3-4 inches of pullback. So you can make this thing, so if you've got real weird setup, you can get this thing forwards or backwards based on which way you've got it set for your eye relief. So I've got it set right now all the way in. So we're going to tighten it down, because, you know, using the lead sled's always slightly different than when you're shouldering it. So that is getting this little fella snugged in, and we'll see how it works. And I have noticed that, you know, you can get your scope pretty much close to where you want to be, but then once you start tightening everything down, you know, that can change your windage, your left and right, by 2 inches. So get close, tighten it, then refine tune it, because otherwise you're going to be off. Okay. I need the probe. Okay, and as I've said before, man always has to have his lubricant. You know, there's nothing worse than dry prophylactic. So you want to make sure that all your rubber is moisturized. Keep it from drying out. So, like I said, I've had this stuff. I've had 2 of these for over 20 years. I think around 2005, when I got my first big bore, I got a hand pump. I got a Hill hand pump. And, you know, you grease everything. Keep that shaft, and I'm not being double entendre here, but you got to keep the everything lubricated or it overheats. All right. So this baby goes in, push it till it clicks, then you start turning it, and then it screws in, you know, and that's, you know, you're there. I'm not using pliers or anything like that. That's just, that's tight. That's, there she's in. There she blows. Get that out the way. And as always, got my original notes from my first Elite. Clockwise decreases, counterclockwise increases. So we're going to put some air in here and see where this gauge, our working bar gauge, our shooting gauge, I guess you'd call it. Shooting gauge underneath is your fill gauge. We're going to see where that's set at and get the chronograph set up, and we'll start playing with numbers to see which way we want to tune this. As a deer hunter, I don't really care about getting 50 shots with a 50 grain pellet. I'm a deer hunter. I want hog hunter. I want as much big bore power I can get out of this. Now granted, it's a 357. This isn't going to be the same as the 50 or the 51. But I still want enough punch out of this that I can roll a coyote at 100 yards. So we'll get it tightened up. Alright guys, we're wrapping up part 1 here. A lot of information going into this video, so we decided to split it into 2 pieces. So this is all the information. Second video will be the shooting, and we'll get you the numbers from that. So thank you, Terry Fox. Again, any information about these Elites, contact Terry Fox at Fox Air Power. I want to thank David B. over at Black Arts Design for his lovely barrel bands. I got the old single shot tray from my friend Ian White. Thank you, Ian. And I said, any questions about the air rifles, contact Terry. Any questions about hollow points, contact Robert, Mr. Hollow Point. And pretty much everything can be one-stop shop at Fox Air Power. So thank you guys for watching, and make sure you click to watch part 2. Peace out.